sit down, shut up. Rose got this. I ain't got time for this because I ain't getting paid for it. So you go, boy.
What's the vibe?
Oh man, I mean, it's been a little while since I've competed, so for me, butterflies, there's a lot of unknown names. Like on the 6K run, usually like the games I can hold my own in a run. These boys are big. Like I got 6th place on the run. I crushed my target time by 2 minutes, so I couldn't be happy with my results, but like still got 6th place. You know, the vibe is good. You know, it's just a lot of guys that, there's a couple like perennial games athletes here, but a lot of them I think are kind of like newer, breaking into the scene. So, you know, the vibe is good. They're excited to be here. So it's just fun.
A word on the vibe in London there from the birthday boy, Matt Fraser. I am Ro, and I am here back home in CrossFit Mayhem to get you guys caught up on day number 2 from Strength in Depth. Let's go. Starting with your headline news, excitement, adventure. While a Jedi may crave not these things, some CrossFit fans certainly do, and they were on hand in spades in London today. In the team division, CrossFit Mayhem Freedom claws their way back to the top. Matt Fraser is also back where he belongs on his birthday to boot, and the women's race is not only heating up, but it got turned upside down when the women got put in the water. Day 2 at SID featured 3 very different events. We rode on the water for the first time in CrossFit Games history, hit a chipper, and rolled the heavy barbells out for the first time. There was tons of movement on the leaderboard for men, women, and teams, and Cookeville, Tennessee is relevant in all 3 of those divisions, but since I'm back home and I'm here at CrossFit Mayhem with Rich Froning Sr., I think we should start with the teams, and in particular our very own CrossFit Mayhem Freedom, the defending champions.
3 events on the day. In event number 3, how did Mayhem do?
They won.
Oh, they won. That's actually really good. So then moving on then to event number 4, did they fare okay in that one as well?
They had a little trouble, but they won.
But they won again. Okay, yeah. So Cookeville type trouble. So they won again. But then finally we get to event number 5, and surely there's some change there.
No, they won.
You're saying that all they did was win, win, win?
Pretty much so, yeah.
That's all they do no matter what.
It's a pretty good day in London.
That is a pretty good day for Cookeville. In the overall standings, Train Like Fight worked themselves into the top 3, but of course, our main story is the fact that the King and the top team is back on top, and Mayhem in the driver's seat.
Yep.
With Sunday and 2 events left to go. They've got a little bit of a buffer. I believe it's 8 points over Wade, the team from Ireland, who gave them a run for their money.
Oh yeah, heck yeah. Yep.
Well, I heard from your son, the other Rich Froning, who is on site in London. And,
that would be Junior.
I heard from Junior,
yeah.
And here's what Junior had to say.
Today went a lot better. Obviously, yesterday we knew that, you know, the single modality events, especially a running event, isn't in our wheelhouse, I guess. So I thought we did well to get 9th in that event. And then once we get into the CrossFit stuff, you've kind of seen what happened the last 4 events now. So 4 events down, we got 2 more tomorrow. Pretty good events. The first one's kind of a toss-up because there's not really much fitness involved. It's, you know, 1 legless rope climbs, and you get to split up the handstand walk between 2 people at 60 meters. So it's a little interesting, but second workout should be a good test, and should be a good weekend after that.
Let's move on now to the individuals. Now, Strength in Depth said it the best themselves on their own Instagram. Could we get any more British than rowing on a cold grey winter's morning? Ladies first. The individuals started their day on the water in the SID Regatta. Laura Horvath took her first event win of the competition, finishing 8 seconds ahead of Lois Smith. This was the first poor-ish performance we've seen from Haley Adams. She took 9th and appeared to be in kind of a bad headspace afterwards. However, Haley bounced back in the 4th event, Creeping Death, but Horvath remained untouchable, tying with Gabriella Magala for another first-place finish. The barbells were rolled out for the final event of the day, and Horvath made the statement that Saturday belonged to her. The hat trick moves Horvath into 1st in the overall standings. Gabriella Magala is just 12 points back, and her stumble on the road drops the young American Haley Adams to 3rd. While Adams' stumble could seem disastrous from the outside looking in, her coach Chris Hinshaw is looking at it differently.
So let's talk about Haley Adams. Haley Adams actually yesterday had an incredible performance in event 1 and event 2. Today we started off with the row. If you look at her performance there, she was frustrated by the end result, and it wasn't just necessarily the overall placing. Her issue was that when she finished it, it was a very technical type of a workout, and her frustration was she didn't feel fatigued. And one of the things that Haley wants is she wants to know that she put in her best effort. That took her into event 2. Event 2, one of the things that she did was she came back really strong, very strong. But the highlight, without a doubt, was that final event today. The last 2 lifts that she put up was a lift, a weight that she could not put up at a single rep last year. Although her placing wasn't high, the fact is that was the diamond in the rough. That will go down as her top performance.
On now to the men, where it was Matt Fraser's birthday, and he certainly made the most of it. It was the Matt Fraser show. Well, with the notable exception of the regatta. David Schrunk was the top dog on the water, living up to the hype people were expecting of him, edging out Lucas Högberg, who had yet another fantastic finish. Yesterday, Tommy Marquez called it. Creeping death was a battle between Matt Fraser and the 2019 strength and depth champion, Bronislaw Olenkowicz. They reproduced that battle in the final event of the day. They called it Clean Bandit, and if you didn't watch it live, go back and do so. It was one of the most impressive performances I have ever seen out of Matt Fraser, and it will quite possibly melt your brain. Now Fraser's pulling away from the competition with a 67-point lead over second place Lucas Högberg. Högberg stumbled in the Clean Bandit. He'll have to have a perfect day if he wants to maintain his grasp on the ticket to the CrossFit Games. Speaking of that ticket to the CrossFit Games, someone's gonna walk away with it tomorrow night, so there's more at stake than just the podium. But in this new era of sanctionals, the math can be confusing. We don't know who's actually fighting for the win and who's fighting for the CrossFit Games ticket, so to help us sort it out, my man, Tommy Marquez.
That's right, Ro. As is often the case with these sanctioned events, the athletes standing on the podium aren't the ones that are going to walk away with the Games invite. That's true for the women at Strength and Depth. It's Kelsey Keel in 5th. She's the one that has the invite right now, and the only athlete that's within earshot of catching her is Nicole Chauvin in 6th, and she's 18 points back. Different story for the men, as only 27 points separate Lucas Högberg in 2nd, all the way down to Andre Houdet in 5th. In between them is David Schrunke of the UK and Georgios Karavis of Greece. And keep your eyes down on Bronislaw Olenkowicz in 6th. He started the day way behind and outside the top 10, but a 3rd, 2nd, and a 2nd to close the day means he's only 42 points back. And one more good event from him, if he knocks it out of the park, could put him back in contention with the 2 events on the final day. This has nothing to do with the team competition though, because the winner of the team competition will ultimately be the one that walks away with the invite. So a little bit more simple there. And right now, Mayhem Freedom is in 1st place, only 8 points ahead of Team Wade, but they've won the last 4 events in a row. So right now it looks like Team Mayhem is going to be the one that eventually walks away with the invite, winning pretty clearly. So even though there's a little bit of differences between each division, it's still worth noting that those are the races for the invite on day 3.
Thanks as always, Tommy. If you guys are not already subscribers to the podcast Talking Elite Fitness, go do it, man. Tommy is a wealth of knowledge. Sean Woodland has all the brains and the voice. They are highly entertaining all the time when they're not bagging on my 49ers, who are about to clean house in the Super Bowl next week. Suck on that, Sean. All right, guys, that is the show for today. Until next week, do all the YouTube things, smash the buttons you're supposed to do and subscribe to things. Tell your wife, tell your kids, tell your husband too, because we're making lots of YouTube videos. And until next time, which will be tomorrow to wrap up the competition, I leave you with the top 3 impressions of the day from the other champion, the 3-time defending fittest woman on earth, Clair Toomey.
Hey everyone, it's day 2 already. The weekend's going so fast, but I just wanted to share with you 3 top favorite moments of today. One being obviously Matt's birthday and singing to him while he was on the floor after the chipper. The second one is just how much local love we have here for Zach, who is the UK Open champion. Everyone is very appreciative of what he's doing out on that floor, and it's really great to see. And then my third one would definitely be cheering on and just seeing how much love the CrossFit Mayhem team have here in London. You know, it means so much to them, and it's just so great to see them all out on the floor, especially with Scott being a new addition to the team. We've really enjoyed it and it's been fantastic.